Hey everyone, this is Cindy from An Open Door. And I'm looking at the screen again. It is February 21st, 2025. And this is an hour we have entitled Reality Check. And our intention for this hour is for a direct experience. And we use the teachings of Helen Hamilton, specifically right now, the book Reality Check, to help us sink into having that direct experience. As what has become the habit, I have a 6 minute Helen Hamilton video. I am very grateful for the group of people that sit behind her that take her sad songs and chunk them out, and then we just get to experience them. So I will play this 6 minute clip. Anything that anybody wants to share after we watch that, and then Sandra has agreed to read the words from the book into the group for us when we're ready to do that. Unless anybody wants to say anything, I'll get started. After I set it up.
You guys are making me work today. Wonderful. So let's start as normal. Are you able to find a separate being? Don't look so terrified.
I feel the heart is beating, and
take a moment if you need to. Take a minute just to
I can feel this body, and I can feel also something is aware of this body.
Mm-hmm.
And I can also feel there is a doubt that I am the awareness that is aware of the body. It feels like I am looking at the awareness or the stillness in a way. Yeah, there's some doubt.
Let's look at what that one is that's looking at awareness. Let's look at the nature of it. What can you tell me about the I that's looking at awareness? See if you can really pin it down. What is this I that feels separate to awareness?
I don't know.
Can you find it even?
No. It feels like just an idea in a way.
It's a thought. Yeah.
It's a thought. Yeah.
Notice from what? What's noticing that thought?
I'm aware of the thought. Here is this. I am aware of the thought. It's
That's a Is there any difference between you and awareness then? If you're aware of things, thoughts, what are you?
it feels so huge to believe that it's me. Yeah.
Let's I totally understand that. It seems like a big jump. But let's look from the awareness. Is it a big deal to the awareness to accept this? And I'm saying this because, again, I held myself back. It's just too big. I just can't accept that. I just can't. It's too, wow, whatever word wants to be used. And I can't really accept it. But then from the awareness itself, is it an issue?
No.
So our mind has an infinite number of really important problems that it'll bring up at this point. It has a really long list of reasons why you can't just be yourself right now.
Yeah.
And this is one of those greatest hits of the mind, you know? So always just kind of gently holding this kind of problem up against, well, if I am that already, is this my issue? Is this even relevant to me? Because for a little while, something might be going, what? That's too huge. But it's just going on inside, isn't it? Watched by you, the awareness, which is just always what you've been. It doesn't really matter so much to awareness whether the mind ever really accepts this or not. Can you feel that? It's like, I don't really need to worry about that. It'll settle down in its own time.
Yeah. Yeah, I can feel that. Yeah.
Do you have any problems left then as awareness? What about when attention wanders back to thoughts? Is that a problem for you?
No.
What about when attention wanders back to thoughts and really believes thoughts and the body gets all kind of tangled up and there's negative emotions? And is that a problem for you, awareness?
No.
Can I ask one more?
Yeah.
What about when awareness goes to thoughts and it stays with thoughts for so long that you completely seem to forget who you are, what you've seen? Is that a problem for you, the awareness? Does awareness celebrate when you seem to remember, come back to class?
Yeah. Yeah. It feels like
Something does, but is awareness changing like that? Is it remembering or forgetting even?
I was just there, silently. Yeah.
Already free.
Yeah.
Always free.
Wow.
Beautiful. Doesn't mean to say the mind's going to stop inventing problems.
Wow.
But you can see them clearer now. It's just like, I'm not going to buy that so automatically. I'll see if it actually applies to me before I try and fix it.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well done. Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Ashani?
Wanted to play itself again. All right. Is there anyone here? Well, let's change that. Is anyone here? Is there anyone here? That's a good question. Who would like to say something? Rana, go for it. Are you here?
I'm here. I am here. Here I am in this now moment where nothing else is happening except this. And it's real and it's juicy. So there it is again, like she points to it. Where am I looking from? Just like Muji did yesterday, right? It's about where I'm looking from, not what I'm looking at. And it was so beautiful to watch that woman's realization, when she had that, Helen suggested look from the awareness that you are. And she had that doubt. Like in the realization, I felt that doubt. It's like she said, oh, but it's so big. Can I really accept that I am that? And I don't think it matters how I answer that question. It's the sensation and feeling as the questioning is going on. It's like, oh, maybe I am that big. Maybe I am everything. And so that's the experience that I'm having with this now, and then of course the pointing that it does awareness have a problem with any of this? It's like, no, it's unaffected. And that is what I am. And that is what I have available at all times, is that unaffected, calm nature to move from there rather than spinning out, and doing something hurriedly, I mean, it's just fabulous. So great to be with you this morning.
Do you remember how Muji said yesterday? Do you remember? He said yesterday, from the truth, there's never overwhelm. And so that it's a signpost, right? And to answer your question, Kay, I've gotten into the habit of waiting until after reality check and then sort of posting both yesterday and today at the same time. Doesn't always happen, but that it will be. I'll do yesterday soon, later this afternoon. Who else? Anybody else? Anybody else have anything to say, or shall we read? All right, you ready, Sandra? Pull it up. Hold on.
I think we're on page 35.
I have it highlighted where we decided to start, not that we have to. Oh, form is the formlessness, something like that. Hold on.
Yes.
All right, I believe it's up now.
Okay, on your highlight, it starts at the bottom of the left-hand column.
Yep.
Form is the formlessness appearing to be a shape. Formlessness is the essence of all forms. Step 4 then becomes, I have no idea what I am, what God is, what reality is. I am beyond any definition. I have no ability to determine, discriminate, or label, and I am totally happy. It really is as simple as not thinking about yourself at all, or knowing that no thought is going to be true about you. Even the thought, I am the all, or I am nothing, is not true here. You do not need to eliminate thoughts or stop the mind working. It is enough to see no thought about you or anything at all has ever been true. I am all is not true because the concept of all includes numerous forms and categories. There are no objects. Manifestation has never truly occurred as something independent to the self. Wow, we need to talk about that line. I am nothing is also not true because it excludes all forms and objects. Even to feel that both of these are true or neither of them are true, neither of them are, is still delusion and self-defining.
So what comes, oh, I'll hand it over to Rana first, then I'll tell you what's here, maybe, if I still remember.
Yeah, and just at the top of the page, the word shape. And I'm pretty sure that Muji used that word and he said something like drop the shape or something from, I know one of you has it written down from yesterday, but I'm just tickled. Drop, yeah. When he was talking about a field of being and that we just have to drop the form or the shape, the idea that I am a shape, that these are all shapes. Juicy.
What I've been walking around with from Muji yesterday is this This is laughter around the idea that the statement, I am every, I am everywhere like space is not a metaphor. And the belief that it is not true for me happens only because we, what did he say? You have trapped yourself into the belief that you are this form, something like that. What was coming up at the point when Sandra said, let's talk about this, was also Moji when he was reading from his book that no one seems to know the name of. And they were talking about opposites. And so as soon as we put a word to an experience, it becomes a concept. And we are identifying ourselves as an object or a form, like Ronald was saying. That's, to me, that's all this is. You know, to say I am all requires all to be an object. I am nothing makes nothing an object. It's putting, as soon as we put a word to something, it becomes separate concept, an idea, separate from just resting in the beingness. That's me. There's something that Amy wants to speak into this conversation. I would love to let her.
Thank you. I think one of the things that has been coming up for me, and I'm probably got this from Helen, is that, and from a course, is everything is just an idea. So matter and form are just ideas. That's how they start out. And what feels to be solid matter is just, it's just a thought form. And that's probably the truest thing you can say about it. And that helps me, I'm reading Revelation, Cindy, and Paul Selig's Revelation. And have you read that yet? He talks
What?
about he talks about ideas, or certainty of ideas like grains of sand. And when the grains of sand are really tight together, it seems like it's a big block. But the more that they separate and there's space between them, the more flow there is. And I feel like the idea that thoughts are that form is just an idea opens up flow. It gives space to the whole idea itself. And A Course in Miracles says thoughts increase by being given away. So the thought that material form is solid, that thought is increased by other folks believing it, right? And so that's how you get group thought and group reality. And the more who believe in them, the stronger they become. But then it says everything, and everything is italicized. Everything is an idea.
I know that I'm reading the ninth book, but I know that book is called The Kingdom.
Yes.
Um, but I don't, like, I could tell you I have them all. I could go back and they were all sort of merging together for me.
Yeah, Revelation is his latest one, I think. I think
The
you
world
told
made
me
it, the world's made it new is the 12th book,
that.
and
Okay.
Innocence is the 11th book. So maybe it's the 10th. I don't know. I do know
Yeah.
that A World Made Anew is the 12th,
Okay.
which
Well,
is the last one that's out on the market.
okay.
Um,
Anyway, I just thought I would share that. It's everything is an idea, and so form and matter are just an ideas, and that's where form is formlessness appearing to be a shape. Ideas are formless.
it's interesting though that you bring up Paul, because in the book that I was reading this morning, he said that word all is going to be very important in the teaching of this particular book that they were offering, which is interesting since it would feel um, to be different than what Helen's pointing to, except that my sense is what is being pointed to is the famous quote that people put different names to. You need, either you accept that everything is a miracle or nothing is. And to me, all of these teachings point to the aspect of the intellect mind that insists that there are some things more important than others, and some things are God and some things aren't God. And, this idea of wanting to reject anything at all. That's what this points to for me, at least in this moment.
So even an idea is just an idea.
Let's say you, Sandra. Oh, Arana first.
Well, yeah, I just want to jump off of what we're talking about here because in one of the paragraphs, it says it's really as simple as knowing that no thought is going to be true about you. So I'm kind of extrapolating here, but then you could just end the sentence. No thought is going to be true. I'm just sitting with that for a minute. That kind of shakes me a little bit. It makes the inside nervous. Like,
So Rana, would you say a thought and an idea are the same?
yeah, I would.
I'm not sure I would, but I accept what you're saying.
Well, I guess an idea. Mm, how would you differentiate between the two?
Kind of like I would differentiate between a want and desire. There's something more etheric about an idea. An idea is potential. And
Okay.
I don't want to, get into wordsmithing here. And I'm sorry that I'm.
No, that's helpful. So let me just say it again. Knowing that no thought is going to be true about you, is it also true that no thought is going to be true? Can I drop the for you? And is she just saying thoughts are not true? Thank you.
I think I'd like to jump in on that if anybody else wants to. When I read that line, I read that as speaking about the separated self view. Because in the paragraph right above that, she says, I am beyond any definition. I have no ability to determine, discriminate, or label, and I am totally happy. So there is a quality to awareness that we can know. And knowing it is somewhat beyond word. It is beyond words, but we try to communicate it. So we have thoughts about it and we speak about it. As just as Muji yesterday was saying, it's a beautiful open field. It's peaceful. It's, he was describing it and he must have had thoughts to describe it. And I have thoughts that I know. There's a difference between knowing and thinking about it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And there is a knowing. We've all experienced the knowing. I am totally happy in this knowing. So I did not read it as no thought, so it's true. It's just when you're thinking about your egoic self, all these thoughts we have about our separate self. That's what I think that's what she said. Otherwise, why even talk to each other? Right?
So the idea, before I hand things over to William, because I did notice that William is ready to speak. For me, um, I'm wondering, and again, Muji's really coloring this experience, this conversation for me. To me, it's less about right now thoughts as being real or ideas being real or not real as my claiming an identity to the thought or the idea. So if I don't claim the identity, an identity with, then these thoughts come and go, the ideas manifest or they don't, and the suffering comes from me saying this is mine. I don't, and again, literally when I wrote this morning, I was told to get really, really comfortable being disturbed. So um, um, I know that these things right now are creating a disturbance, and I'm recognizing that what I thought was true is being questioned, and that creates a disturbance. And for that, I'm getting comfortable relaxing around it, whatever that means. Hey, William.
I think of Angelo saying, if you can write it down or it's a word, that's a thought, an image, a thought. But for me, the moment I'm out of the moment, it's not real. It can't be true. It's just a representation of whatever that was in being in the moment. So it's the moment, and anything else is not going to be true about it. In a thought, a word, image, whatever it is, it's after the fact of it happened, it happened, it happened. So I just like it. No thought can be true. Of course not. Because it's always about something's already happened. It's already happened. It is. So to me, I love feeling it when no thought is true. Even when I'm believing it and I'm feeling it. Because it's not now, it's after the fact. I'm now talking about something's already happened. And in my mind, I'm making it up. And it kind of gives me, just brings me back to now. And that's what I feel when I'm with someone. There's no someone, but I guess I fudge and call it awareness because now it's thought. But the presence, the being is something, something, something.
So Helen wrote this book. She must have had some thoughts to write this book in these words. Right? I mean, it's just pure logic. I think I can embrace the knowing that this points to without denying. And I think that's what that line that I wanted to talk about is about. Without denying this incredible life that has manifested and is being lived. So I don't separate, it can't be separate. That line, she said, manifestation has never truly occurred as something independent to the self. what that's saying to me is everything is awareness. Even the mind that's creating the thoughts is awareness. Everything. There's nothing that is not. And I go back to that that knowing that I can't cut it all apart and I can't slice it and dice it into little pieces. I have to accept the whole of it. And not that I have to accept it, I do accept the whole of it. It's all one amazing, intricate, detailed down to the little cells, amazing manifestation. And there's nothing in the being that wants to separate from that. It's all occurred. Nothing of it is independent to the self. So I can be totally happy experiencing all of it. Even the part that wants to label and communicate and think about. That's the best I can describe it for me. And I'm curious what other people think about that line.
I am.
Think about that.
I feel to read the chat into the recording because those who are accessing the recording don't get access to the chat. So Livy wrote, I associate an idea with a creation. Kendall, here is what AI says about idea and thought. While idea and thought are often used interchangeably, an idea is generally considered a more structured and developmental concept, often with a clear purpose and solution, whereas a thought can be a loose, fleeting mental process, or simply something that crosses your mind without much elaboration. Essentially, an idea is a thought that has been refined and organized to provide value or solve a problem, perhaps create a story. She goes on to continue with AI. Key points to remember: structure. Ideas are usually more organized and well-defined compared to thoughts, which can be random and unfocused. Purpose. An idea often has a specific goal or intention behind it, while a thought might simply be a mental observation. Development. An idea is often the result of processing and refining multiple thoughts. Example, thought, I need to get groceries. Idea, to save time, I should order groceries online and pick them up at the store on my way home. Kay writes, one way to look at this, Helen highlights self-defining. I am all and or I am nothing is self-defining. And she highlights, I am beyond any definition. Kendall, all one play dancing on the stage of life being. And from this little mouth here, Cindy, I'm back to how Muji started his audio, that podcast yesterday, where he said, satsang is not for the intellect. And so there's something here that benefits from recognizing. And Joel Goldsmith last night was talking about the same thing. He said, we're going to talk about the Christ, and there's no way to talk about the Christ. So you can listen to my words, but something else, William, is going on here. And so that's very beautiful for me. But at least I am comfortable feeling uncomfortable with recognizing that what is going on here is beyond the intellect's knowing. And I'm willing to be beyond knowing to allow force something else to arise from whatever it is we're doing here. And again, I'm looking at what Kay said here too, right? It's not whether or not we're all or whether or not we're nothing. It's as soon as we claim an identity, we in some way have claimed ourselves as being an idea because words are symbols, not truth, right? They kind of like solidify the water. Yep, we're all sharing our thoughts and ideas. Hey, Patricia.
Good morning, one and all. Sorry to have been late. I had to get an ultrasound this morning. And so I go to the place where I get an ultrasound. Speaking the language, I'm not very good at it. And I am trusting that the connection I have with people and Google Translate and the experience is kindness. Now, kindness is a feeling. It's also a thought. So things happen. The doctor who's doing the ultrasound can speak some English. I can speak some Spanish. And there's kindness that's interchanged. So it's one human being to another having an experience with words as best we could. And there were some words I didn't get, and there were some words he didn't get. And somehow it didn't matter. What mattered was the experience. So I'm kind of building on what William was talking about. It's just being present in the moment and how important that is. I mean, for me, it is. It's just the moment. And thoughts and feelings come and go. I was in a mood yesterday. It was sad. All sorts of stuff is going on. But it just feelings. And they were old, brought up old stuff, just feelings. And as soon as I came back to the moment and I just kind of surrendered that and just said, okay, I'm ready for you to go. And Holy Spirit, I give this to you. I don't know what else to do with it. It began to subside. And being present in the moment was the nurturing, was that which shifted. And everything changed. So anyway, that is my share. I'm sorry I was late.
Thank you. And we're never late. We're always right on time. Shall we read more, or is there more to say, or I will pull up the book?
I think we finished that page. I finished that page. So chapter 7. One final note. If you read this book and have a sense that what you have understood from it is real, and what you knew before you read it is unreal, then you have not totally understood what the noumenon, did I say that correctly?
Noumenon.
Noumenon is. The self is totally inclusive of all levels of consciousness and all understanding. If I strongly believe myself to be a limited person, separate and alone, moving through this lifetime and trying to find happiness before I die, then I will experience that as absolutely real. It will be so real to me that all my experiences will verify it as true. It will not even occur to me to question if there could be more to see, unless I start to have a very negative experience of being a separate being. Even at that point, I may still be so convinced that what I know is true that I may turn away from an authentic spiritual teacher or teaching, calling them crazy or just plain wrong. If I come to realize that I am the unmanifest self and I am beyond all form, that will also seem totally real to me, too. If I realize I am both the form and the formless, then that will seem completely and absolutely real to me. How can all these levels of reality be true for me? How is the next person's belief in having been born and living their life as real as what I have? How is the next person's belief in having been born and living their life as real as what I have seen? It is simply that I am reality. What that is, I do not know. And anything I am experiencing anywhere, from any point of view, must be reality experiencing itself. Any experience I have in any human body, or any animal, plant, or insentient item is totally and absolutely real because I am reality. I actually think that's what she meant when she said anything that has occurred is not independent to the self. Back on the other page. Whatever I believe to be true is immediately true for me. Wow, whatever I believe to be true is immediately true for me. Whatever I know and am certain is real will be experienced as real to me. As the one reality, I am all pervading, and therefore all of my viewpoints are equally valid. If I exclude any one of them at all, I am defining and I am limiting myself again. It is natural to want to live as the absolute reality, because that is the only place we will not suffer or feel limited in any way at all. But we must not exclude anything at all in that realization. That made me happy.
That's what you've been saying, Sandra.
Yes, that made me so happy to read
Yeah.
that.
Or at least that's what I've heard being expressed there.
As I was reading that, I was thinking, that's what I've been trying to explain, but have been so inadequate in it. But that's how I'm experiencing this life, just like that. So,
Like right now, this is real.
yes.
This is real. And now this is real. And now this is real. And now this is real. And like William said, if I think about what we read 10 minutes ago, that's just a thought.
Can I play a 4-minute clip that I saw this morning that feels very appropriate to this conversation? Is
Yes,
that all right?
please.
I'm gonna have to hit pause because I'm gonna hit pause. So if you're listening to the replay and you want to know what it is, just ask me.
That's the cup.
What were you saying, Rana?
That's the cupcake guy. He was the host for one of the Food Network cupcake bake shows.
He's a magician.
It was great.
You know,
Anyway, that 4-minute clip is kind of, I've been sitting with it. And when she's talking about beliefs and how we create our experience, that particular 4-minute clip was, and there's a couple other things that happened since then, very alive in my experience of humanness.
Could we have the link to that?
It's pretty like insane, right?
No, I'd like to play that to my wife.
I literally, when I sat and have been sinking into how to be with this teaching and some other things that arose, um, I am disturbed because there is nothing in the intellect Like I can continually state everything that the intellect is coming up with, I can tell isn't true, that it's based on what I've been taught, not based on direct experience. Except literally, I've watched that clip a couple of times, and every time he hits the fake arm with a hammer, I feel pain. I'm like, and there's something that wants to come from that here. I'm curious. Um, what's alive for you? And I'm also curious relative to this group. I have a sense of what I'd like to do in this hour beginning next week since we finished the a run through. I am curious what others are inspired to suggest. So those are the two things I'm bringing to this group right now.
I would just like to say that I'm not disturbed by this at all. I feel so accepting is not the right, I'm relishing it. I love it. I love what she said on these last pages. It's like just love it all. I'm creating it all. Awareness is creating it all. I am awareness. Helen wrote this book. You know, I don't know why I keep repeating this, but there's nothing to deny about life. Nothing to deny about the thoughts that arise. Just knowing where they come from is freedom.
You know where they, because I don't know where they come from.
They come from me. They come from you. They come from the all that is. All of it does. That's my knowing. That's the knowing.
William.
I guess what I'm sensing is that, boy, even awareness, I can see how I turn it into a form. That the awareness of the arm, the pain, the hammer, all that, awareness is just something that is being done in life in the moment. It's all part of that moment, has the totality to it. And whether I experience the pain or this object or that form, even awareness gets caught up in being consumed by the form or hijacked by the form. And it's like, wow. So what I like having awareness and zooming out in life, but even, of course, that's not true. Even awareness is something that I'm making up from the I point of view, as opposed to it is. But I live as a human being in the isness. Aside from the isness, it's like, wow, that is just, it kind of freed. It made everything, it made awareness so much more, I don't know what, it made it so much more full. And then I go back to now, I give up, I don't know, I know nothing.
Well, I'd like to, I'm inspired to, I was very moved by my experience with being with the 1 hour Muji video 3 times last week. And it's from that place I would like to suggest that we simply go back to page 1 and spend a little more time with these 30 pages before we discuss picking up a new book in this hour. And I'm open for discussion relative to that. But I wanted to put it out into the space. I didn't realize we were going to finish the book here. But that is what's on my heart to suggest.
And what comes up for me is that it really doesn't matter because we're just going back to another moment of now. And what shows up, shows up. And if it's the same one or new, I don't care. I just let them go along for the ride.
Looks like that's what we'll do. And we have 5 minutes.
You keep talking about, I think I saw the Muji thing, but I just really want to watch that Muji thing again. Could you
Didn't somebody give you the clip? Yes, it's the conversation we were in the Finding Truth Everywhere yesterday, and somebody gave you that link. Did you get it?
okay, so see there's my awareness. Where was it?
You know what? I could be making it up. I could be making it up, but I would like to predict with my psychic powers that any moment now, Rana's going to drop that link in the chat again. It's just a feeling. Like it's just, oh, look at that. Do you understand how powerful I am? Like extraordinarily powerful. Rana just dropped the link to the Muji video in the chat. Do you see it, William?
You know what? You two remind me of my two older sisters. They took care of everything.
So scroll down once you get to that page, because I'm sending you to the I Am an Open Door website. Scroll down and hit the video for the 20th.
Yeah, I got it.
Because I think Muji is spelled Mugji for some reason on there, Cindy.
On the page?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I don't.
Yeah.
I am so imperfect. It's just gorgeous. It's
Well, I
just
just
what's
figured it was
happening.
cut and paste. So whatever, somebody somewhere, it doesn't matter. We all know that it's Muji
And we all know that we're imperfect.
for sure. If that's the worst thing that happens, we're doing pretty darn good.
Cindy, since you watched it 3 times, there was a line in there. Did he say, smell and taste the Lord is good, or was it stop and taste? I can't remember.
It wasn't smell.
Something, but taste that the Lord is good. That
Wasn't it a scripture he quoted?
It's a
he was
scripture.
he was quoting it, but he was also saying, be there, like William's saying, be there in the now and taste. I love that. Taste that the word that is
The scripture quote is taste and see
see. Okay.
that the Lord is good. Blessed is the one who takes refuge in him. So it's taste and see.
So
Michelle got it in the chat. You're the lucky winner, Michelle.
So this final chapter where she says one final note, I think it could be summarized by that line. See and taste. It's good. It's like experience it.
Taste and see that the Lord is good.
When does what is being tasted become me?
Oh, well, this is one of my favorite awareness experiences. Has everyone here done this with me? Does everyone have a glass of water in front of them or a drink? So at this point, the experience is that I'm a Cindy holding a cup filled with cold dandelion tea, whatever's in your space. When you take a sip, become aware. When does the drink become you? Right now, there's 2. At what point does it become you?
It was never 2 to begin with.
And the mind creates a throat that is swallowing and says, there's the line of demarcation.
It's like the arm behind the screen.
All right. I love us. And something just happened on the screen, so I'm going to stop the recording. The next open door meeting is Monday at 11:30 Eastern Standard Time. But don't ask me which concept or words from A Course in Miracles we'll be discussing because I haven't opened the book yet. I love us.